Okay, good afternoon, everybody. Again, Mrs. Middleton here with Of Mice and Men by John Steinbeck. Again, one of my favorite favorite books. So it's chapter three. In chapter three, Lenny and George are starting to work now, and we're introduced to a few more characters. We have Carlson come in. He's like a work hand on the farm. And of course, we have Curly, and we have Curly's dog. And poor Curly's dog is an old dog. Um, Probably gray around the muzzle, just pretty slow, and it's got old dog stink. And Carlson, the ranch hand, comes into the bunkhouse and is like, whew, that dog stinks. It's time to get rid of it. This is a metaphor for how society deals with older people. Carlson goes on to say the dog stinks, the dog's outlived its usefulness, it's not good for nothing, let's just get rid of it. It's kind of what we do. It was a commentary about what we do, how we treat the elderly in the United States. When a person outlives their usefulness, when a person, or what is perceived as a usefulness, when a person gets older and needs more care and is unable to do things for themselves, age, people engage in ageism or discrimination, saying, well, it's time to just let them die. It's time, like, they're no use. And that's not really true, because we know that if you are a person that you have, that being a person entitles you to the respect that you deserve. Okay, but we see this with Curly's dog, this ageism thing. We also, as we keep going, we see things with Lenny. Lenny tries to hide a dog in his bunk. I think that's in this chapter, and we see that. That Lenny's a hard worker. They say that. We also meet a character named Wit, and Wit is really excited because a friend of his wrote a letter to the editor, and that letter was published in a magazine. And he's like, I know that person. It's like, it shows that how desperate people are to just be recognized. And even if they are not recognized themselves, they're excited to feel that other people recognize, or that they know somebody outside of themselves. Okay. Um, but, but, but as the story goes on, Carlson ends up shooting Curly's dog because he doesn't think the dog is useful anymore. And it's a really uncomfortable scene. It's uncomfortable for the characters, and honestly, it's uncomfortable for the reader, is what it is. But then we see something else happen. Slim and Curly come into the bunkhouse, and Slim's basically telling Curly to go pound sand because Curly keeps asking Slim about Slim's wife. Where's Slim's wife? Or where's Curly's wife? He's just always Curly's asking Slim about his wife, and Slim's like, well, why don't you, if you're so worried about it, you deal with it. Anyway, so they're kind of laughing at Curly because they're like, well, Slim told you, ha ha ha. Well, Curly's kind of narcissistic, so Curly ends up, he's like, oh, you're not going to make a fool out of me. And then he starts in on Lenny. And Lenny's trying not to fight because George told him, hey, you can't fight, we can't lose this job, you got to be good. So Lenny is trying not to do anything, but Curly attacks him, and he's starting to just beat the pulp out of Lenny. And finally George says, go ahead and get him, Lenny. And Lenny, he's being hit. He's being beaten by this little pipsqueak of a guy, and Lenny's a big guy. So Lenny doesn't fight back. He doesn't hit Curly. He doesn't kick him. He doesn't pounce on him. He simply grabs Curly's hand. And the strength of Lenny's grip, he actually breaks Curly's hand. And that's where we leave off in the chapter.